right, my friends, we're going to put the tops of our truffalo trees on. So I want you really to think carefully about the placement of your trees. Remember, we talked about the larger trees come closer to us, smaller trees go in the distance. So when you're making the tops of the trees, you should also think about size. So not only should their trunks get smaller, but the top of the trees should also get smaller. So I'm going to pick just one piece to start with. And you know, some of these guys are going to be bigger than others, so if you need to use a pair of scissors to cut it or tear it with your hands, you're more than welcome to. I'm just going to crinkle lightly so that the top guy is a little bit bigger, okay? So you don't have to crinkle a whole lot. And when we crinkle for the big ones, we don't want to crinkle too tight because we want those guys to be bigger. So kind of get it so it's a nice little form-shaped ball. And then when you get it to a good point, you're going to take your glue, add the glue just a dot where you want, and then press on there. Now, like I said, you can do, you know, another color in the center. You can do little crinkled pieces to do like flowers or something in these. But right now, we're just going to keep going and adding some of those tops. So I'm going to go in now with another color. This time I'll go with pink. So I have my second big tree. So I'm now going to take this tissue paper. Okay, and again, just try one at a time. If you need to double up, that's fine later. So I'm just going to crinkle it not too tight, but I want it to form into like a ball shape. So once I got it to where I want it, find the back side that I want. Add a little dot of glue. Okay, if you're really careful, you won't get it on your hands. Press it for like 3 seconds at least, and then let it go. So if you have to go in later and just kind of crinkle it how you want. So the smaller guys, what I do is I might take a piece if it's big and tear it in half, or like these guys are kind of small, so you might be able to use the whole thing, and I just crinkle them tighter. So that way the tops of these guys, you know, I don't want it looking messy like that looks really. All right, maybe we should get a different one. But I do want it, you know, a little tighter so it looks a little smaller, okay? So now I'm gonna add some glue to this. Okay, so I have, you know, my bigger trees, my smaller trees, all crinkled, all right? And now, if you guys want to add any grass, you can. So it's up to you. I like to go in. Now, guys, really, honestly, you did a lot of details in your mountains and stuff. I really wouldn't super cover anything like crazy. But if you want to do like a little bush, so maybe I'll crinkle up a piece down here. Okay. Maybe down here, I'll crinkle a piece up. On this side, so balance the eye, okay? If you're gonna add something on one side of the paper, you really should, you know, make sure that you're also adding it to another side of the paper. So there's that. I don't have any really tiny trees. If you wanna do some really tiny ones in the distance, you go above the very top mountain, you do a really short crinkled guy, like this. So these are for your really small trees. And then what I would do is I would go in with a black oil pastel. Maybe even do that first. And I'm just tearing the smallest little piece off. Do a stem. So that looks really cool. I have some back trees in the distance. I have trees coming in the middle ground, and then I have trees in the foreground. I even have some bushes. And if again you want to go in, maybe if you have extra time, if you finish early, maybe I want to add some flowers in my bushes. So I'm going to crinkle some tiny pieces and maybe add some flowers in the bushes. So really, you know, think about that as you're working if you finish early. Alrighty, so that's that. You've gotten your pieces on your tissue paper. They're going to go on the drying rack for today, and then the following week we should be able to bring these home.